part of my group, this young man for a whole year was having to choose right here in this city to pay his rent or buy his meds and eat. And so now he's extremely ill because he went all of that time without taking his medications because he didn't know what to do, because he didn't know that there was resources out there for him. It's insane. No, it's politics. It's politics and money, and it's because we live in a capitalist society. And the haves and the have-nots. And I ain't talking to Tyler Perry.
I want to qualify what I'm going to say, first of all, to my brothers and sisters here, just because I want it known why I'm saying what I say, because of who I am. I'm not an American. I'm not an African American. I'm not a black, I'm not a Negro, I'm not colored. I am an African in this damn, excuse the expression, United Snakes empire. Y'all get that? Y'all hear that, snakes?
Yes.
So now I want you to know where I'm coming from. I'm a Pan-African, liberated African man in this country, in this situation of Babylon. So I just wanted to just say that up front. So therefore you kind of put what I'm going to say in context. And as a result, having been liberated to a degree, I'm still on that. It's a journey, right? It's, it's a journey. With Willie Lynch, it's made sure, that nobody reaches it until, you actually transition, right? But I certainly was where you all are. So I, along with Bob Alon's, commend you with the highest accommodations. At the same time, what I have an obligation to make sure that the misinformation that we receive in this country as Africans, see, and the propaganda that causes us to think that this is our country. This ain't our country. We don't need to be thinking that what our children go to, what we went to, was institutions to educate us. That is a lie. We've been bamboozled, we've been hoodwinked, we've been had. That's miseducation. That ain't education. So not only does education, true education, start at home, it stays at home. If I'm educated, if I get educated, which means I got liberated, then I am educating not only my children, my partner, my next door neighbor, my African brother, my African sister, when I can get a word in edgewise. And I'm talking my queen. I'm talking my queen. I'm talking my queen. And the same thing her, when she can get a word in edgewise as well. So the reason why I want to just speak up in terms of properly educating us is this right here. If we're going to suggest that we get involved with the politricks of Babylon, please don't let us not be guilty of passing on propaganda. We talk about holding politicians accountable. You don't do that without money and power. We have none. We have none, in an organizational sense. So right here in Dallas and into the cities here, I grant you there's not a city council member, a school board member, that you and I can just call, email, or stop in and see without having to go through a gatekeeper. I guarantee you it ain't one. Now that starts local now. So we need to let our folk know. First of all, if I'm going to a school board meeting or city council meeting, you need to let our brothers and sisters know, and I say you, me, to me too, you're going to have pigs there. And you're going to have, colored Negro slave collaborators, Sambos and witches, that's sitting up there. In other words, they're plants, as if they're going to be there. So when you go there, recognize you are going to meet resistance when you're trying to exercise your African right to express the trauma that you and your family and your brothers and sisters are experiencing. So yeah, and this thing about voting, let's just get the white elephant in the room. Let's just get the white elephant in the room now. That's a whole bunch of crock. Voting is a whole facade. I work as a county election precinct judge. You put your vote, what you think is your vote, how do you know it's counted? Raise your hand if you know that your vote's counted. And even if all Africans voted as a bloc, including our 1.2 million African men and women that's incarcerated in these white racist supremacist concentration camps, even if they could vote, even if we voted as a bloc, how would we have the power to know that our vote was actually counted the vote we wanted to vote for?
Right.
So what I'm saying to you is that I'm a Garveyite. I am. Pan-African Garveyite. And I'm all about teaching, first of all, getting us out from under this mental enslavement, this Willie Lynch syndrome, this propaganda, our coma that we're under, that we can have an effect up on this white racist institution by going and participating there. First thing we got to do, we got to get cleansed. Now, in the meantime, we have needs that have to be met, and that's what you and our sister is doing in the organization, which really deserves commendation. But I just don't want our folk, yes, go try to get involved and find out when you want to speak and when you want to go to the mic, and somebody's going to try to cut you off and you continue trying to speak, how that pig there is going to come up and arrest you or tell you got to leave. And the next time you come, you're not going to be allowed to speak. Our folk need to know that. Yes, go and do that. So you can find out that Babylon is not going to move just by you being nice and you being kind and you coming with proper English and diction. Babylon's not going to be moved like that. My ancestor, Frederick Douglass, said, power concedes only to power.
That's right.
So I want to just share that. It's only because, we're talking about going to the school board meetings, go to school board meetings. But I want our folk to know what they're going up against. You go there, you spend your time, you take your children there, and then you get to sign, you want to sign your name to speak, and then they tell you, well, you really need, this is not the part of the meeting where you can speak. Or you would have had to have gotten signed before, other people. So we need to let them know about the tricks. Let them, I want us to do that, because I went through that. I really did.
And
I went through that.
And this is what this is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to start this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Because I got one side of the story, but you got the whole story.
Yes, well, not the whole, the other side. How about, with our respect, sweetheart, just the other side.
So
together.
Right, and we
Yes.
do this conversation together. Because exactly what you're saying, in another room, in another setting, when I'm teaching and when I'm training Africans, I let them know that this may possibly happen.
Yes, ma'am.
When y'all gonna go down to City Hall, you may possibly be arrested.
Respect due then, okay.
It may happen.
Right.
When you go to these places. So yeah, this just wasn't my advocacy 101. I was just talking.
Oh, well, I didn't. Well, excuse me. I was out of season, sister.
No, you wasn't, and that's what it's supposed to happen. Because I love engaging.
I know that would have said it for this.
Yeah, I love engaging conversation.
Yeah.
Because this is what we have to do, and we've got to, it's there, and we've got to not be afraid to face it.
That's it, sweetheart.
We gotta head it straight on.
That's it.
And it's a journey that I'm still on the journey too, and as I'm getting ready to leave, because I got to go try to help Tess, unless people got other questions and concerns. Is that I remember almost 20 years ago, and I'm still walking on this whole Pan-Africanism, but I was standing on a corner about 20 years ago. I was on Jefferson, and I can't think of that street right there, and I met that man right there.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't even know him. He started talking to me.
Yeah, honey.
And he introduced me to Pan-Africanism.
All right.
And so I started going to the bookstore when it was on, I didn't go a lot, but I would go in, on Jefferson and Marsalis. And I started to seek knowledge in a different kind of way, and really understanding and coming to the truth and the fullness of who I am as a black woman.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that. So I'm definitely okay, and that's what I bring to what I do now. I bring as much as I can, and I definitely encourage people to go learn and know more and do more and understand that it doesn't start and stop here.
That's right.
That's not where it starts and stops. So yeah, I don't just tell them to run up there. And even, I'll be real with them. We gonna go and we gonna advocate, and we probably gonna go to jail. Make sure you don't have anything, because we might not get gavel enough money to get you out if you don't violate it. Because that's a reality. Because the people that we work with may very well be already on paper or whatever and going down there. So I let them know that you don't necessarily have to go this time if you don't want to.
Right.
Because if you have something pending at Dallas County,
right.
I might not get you out.
You're a very responsible African sister. Respect.
I'm sorry.
No worries, that's all right.
Well, we're going to let sister go back to the back.